MSSP just got 3 more letters. These stories and much more on today's episode of MSP Dispatch.
This episode is presented by OIT VoIP. Enhance your client's communication abilities with our VoIP solution, featuring integrated billing, on-demand training, and live US support. Collaborate seamlessly with Microsoft Teams integration and put your entire phone system in your pocket with Mobile X. Improve your offerings and increase profitability with reliable service for 1/10 of the average MSP acquisition cost. To learn more, visit oit.co or dial 844-CALL-OIT.
Good morning and welcome to the November 28th episode of MSP Dispatch, your source for news, community events, commentary in the MSP channel, sometimes with a little bit of joking. I'm Ray Orsini, joined as always by my co-host, Mr. Tony Francisco. How you doing, Tony?
Oh, I ate too much Thanksgiving. For those of you over the pond, a little about it's a day where we recognize how thankful we are for the things that we have as we rush in murder fashion to buy the things on the Friday after, the day after, on Black Friday. Yes, doing good.
We're recording this during Cyber Monday, so of course I'm buying all the things. I actually haven't found anything really amazing, besides a bunch of gift cards that'll give you like $15 or $20 back on a $100 purchase. So I may or may not be buying a few $1,000s with gift cards to use in the future. But you know what never disappoints?
Do tell me. Let's get into it.
Let's do it. In my top story, fake browser updates targeting Mac systems with Infostealer, written by Jai Vijayan for Dark Reading. The ClearFake campaign, initially centered on Windows, has now become a cross-platform threat by targeting Mac OS. Using deceptive browser updates, this social engineering tactic tricks Mac users into unwittingly downloading Atomic Stealer, a powerful information-stealing malware. This shift from Windows-centric methods highlights the campaign's adaptability to exploit Mac OS vulnerabilities. Additionally, the malware, available for rent at $1,000 per month, employs a one-hit smash-and-grab strategy, stealing passwords, browser data, and cryptocurrency wallets. The ClearFake campaign and its malware reflect a recent surge in threat actor interest in Mac OS, with Accenture reporting a 1,000% increase since 2019. The findings highlight concerns as established actors with positive reputations and substantial budgets actively seeking to exploit and bypass macOS security functions, raising significant concerns about the evolving threat landscape for Apple's operating system. Tony, this whole story has to be something from The Onion. It can't be true. Macs are invulnerable, sir. Invulnerable. Right? It's total BS, right?
You and I are looking at different things, man. I think this is the canonical example of software as a service model wins. As a service model wins. For $1,000, I will give you assassination level. But hey, listen, for $100, I'll just do it one time.
But look at invulnerable, sir. I'm not going to throw it because this is actually one of my daily use MacBooks.
Don't throw it.
Okay, yes. We talked about the business acumen of these malactors. Fantastic. Awesome. We talked about this in a previous episode. The business acumen, good for them. As a service makes a lot of sense. They're not the first to rent out malware, though. That as a service. We've talked about DDoS as a service before. As little as $30, you can start DDoSing somebody. Click the MMN referral link for details. No, I'm kidding. But this is getting more and more sophisticated and easier to obtain. Are we going to see an Amazon for malicious software and services?
I think wherever there is something, there is an opportunity. And the question is, what is that opportunity for? And I'm assuming that's also based on the lens the viewer is looking through. So if the opportunity, or if the something is an Apple device, the opportunity, if you are looking through the lens of a hacker, then hey, let's provide malware. Now, if we go upstream a little bit, we're going to figure out is maybe there's an opportunity because there's multiple hackers out there that are looking to attack Macs. So I will create a hacking as a service model or platform. We've talked about phishing as a service here on MSP Dispatch. We've talked about the robocalls as a service. We've talked about all the different credit card fraud. We've even talked about the hacking or the stealing of data that you can go, not from a platform perspective, but the hitman for hire. But this is a service that's provided and you can go find these individuals at certain locations. This is the exact same profile as everything else. It just so happens to be targeting Macs, which begs the question, what is there that is not able to be touched? Is there anything out there? Your thoughts?
I mean, I have this little Windows PC. Does that count? I mean,
if it was manufactured in China, you remember the 12 devices, which by the way, you gave me, I went through all of my, I went through all of my devices. I had piles of devices that I was going through and querying the firmware models, the manufacturers. Like you gave, and you said it was such just it was so
fine. It's fine. No. Look, I think no devices are invulnerable besides my Mac. Obviously, I don't believe the story. But to that end, and this is where Matt Topper or Slagle or Matt Lee might disagree with me, I think that's a good thing. I think as soon as we can get out of the conversation of I'm too small a target, nobody's going to go after my Mac, nobody's going to go after my Linux system because it's too obscure, nobody's doing that. As soon as we get the what ifs out of the conversation, we can't use that as an excuse anymore. Now we have to protect everything, and we have to adjust to a different mindset. I'm going to say this is a good thing. I don't want there to be anything that we feel 1,000% comfortable is invulnerable, right? I'm waiting for the YouTube comments. It'll be like, that's not the proper word, whatever. But the point remains, I like this. I like the fact that we can no longer sit comfortably because I run Linux and who cares, right? I want to hear from the MSPs. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm right. Tell me what you bought for Cyber Monday. Most importantly, Tony, we've gone 10 minutes talking. We haven't said anything about AI. Give me something with AI, sir.
I got you covered.
Yes.
Jumping straight into my first story from thehackernews.com. The US, UK, and 16 global partners have collaboratively issued guidelines for secure artificial intelligence system development, prioritizing ownership of security outcomes, radical transparency, and accountability. The approach centers on a secure design within the organizational structures. These guidelines aim to enhance AI cybersecurity through its lifecycle, including rigorous testing before public release, addressing societal harms, and encouraging third-party vulnerability reporting through bug bounty systems. Termed a secure by design strategy, they comprehensively cover all aspects of AI development, aiming to counter adversarial attacks like prompt injection and data poisoning. This involves meticulously modeling threats, safeguarding supply chains and infrastructure to prevent unintended behaviors and secure sensitive information. Ray, let's unpack this.
A lot.
That is a lot. It's a lot. So that's all you say. That's a lot. Next story.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Ray, we have celebrated governments being involved. And we talked about when the US first started, and there was a few out there. Now, we've got the US, UK, we got 16 countries getting together and saying, enough is enough. We think we have done a horrible job on governing everything we should be governing. And this is the Mac Daddy, because this is literally the future of things we should be governing now in its extremely critical development phase. Is this going in the right direction? What would you suggest, and what are your thoughts about this particular action?
So my answer to this is 927. You know how the answer to everything, life and everything is 42?
42.
Yeah. So the answer to every standard is 927. That's the XKCD comic that says there are 14 competing standards, 14 ridiculous. We need to develop one universal standard that covers all the use cases. Yeah. Now there's 15 competing standards. And we'll put that link in the show notes. Easily one of my favorite. It's right up there with Bobby Drop Tables. So now, if we go back to some of the nonsense about Sam Altman and OpenAI with the fired, you're hired, you're maybe being hired by Microsoft, who knows? And for the full story on that, go check out AI Roundup with our host, Phil Buck. But the TLDR is the same, right? OpenAI has a board that is inclusive of 3 or 6 minds that are highly against, they lean on the Elon side of the spectrum of how dangerous they think AI is and how it could be. And OpenAI is the biggest name right now in AI. Let's be honest. Not that there aren't others. And there's tons of people and Microsoft is heavily invested in this company. And while they have no say-so on the board yet, let's see what happens. They definitely have a financial interest to make sure it goes the right direction. So does Google. So does Apple. So another body to discuss this. Yay. Show me the one with teeth, right? Show me where this goes from best practices to HIPAA fines or PCI fines or the cyber insurance charging you extra because you refuse to do MFA. Show me where those safeguards come in, where the teeth come in. Otherwise, we have another FCC situation for the last 20 years where don't do robocalling, but also we have no way to stop you from doing robocalling. And while I have you for 30 seconds, let me talk about your extended warranty on your car. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm talking about. So while I'm all for this, don't get me wrong, it's also a lot of nothing, in my opinion. Tony, walk me back, bro. You're the bright side of the sun. The glass is half full. Help me out here, dude.
So, okay, we're talking about quite a few things. And, I mean, what about, we have Anthropic, Claude.com, if you guys haven't familiar. There's, OpenAI and Claude. Those are the really big, commercially available and mostly used AI. I guess, what are they? AI engines, large language model engines at this point? Is that what they're calling? Is that what the kids are calling them now? So
I feel like we have a host of AI Roundup in the green room right now, assisting in the technical production, and could possibly give us some kind of lifeline, maybe in the private chat as I vamp to maybe get him to respond. And he's like, no, fuck you.
I call it a chat bot. That's what he just says. I call it just a chat bot, whatever. Facebook's had him for a long time.
Thingamabob. Is thingamabob a technical term? In this case, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So my point out of this is that, listen, we have multiple players in there, and who has a vested interest, and should they be making the rules? Microsoft has 49%. Microsoft purchased, or I won't call him purchased, call him hired the CEO of OpenAI that was let go.
Well, that never actually happened. He was going to.
But then it went back. And now what are the odds that something is going to happen with Microsoft that is a very unilateral, very lopsided partnership between OpenAI and Microsoft? And it could be based on, I don't know, maybe the 49% ownership, or the fact that they just hired him right away and they have a very, very, very friendly relationship now with the leading member of the organization.
If this was the Ballmer days, I'd be worried. Under Satya, this is the company that bought GitHub and didn't break it and added Copilot.
Touché.
This is the company that was looking at Discord. This is the company that opened PowerShell and .NET to Linux. This is the company that added Linux subsystems to Windows for free.
You're killing my argument for you're killing my argument for like paranoia. Listen, at the end of the day, there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen. Microsoft has done amazing things. You know what they haven't done, though? They haven't spun anything else off. And when they spin something else off, something probably really good's going to happen. And I think that's right.
Right. I have a story. In my second top story, At&T launches a new MSSP spinoff written by John Gold for CISO. To expand its consulting services, At&T has chosen to separate from a significant segment of its managed security services provider unit and launch a spinoff. This new team, co-owned by At&T and venture capital firm Willjam, led by cybersecurity expert Bob McCullen, aims to provide a more agile platform for security consulting and fostering independent growth. While At&T retains specific security software products, operational teams, and consulting resources, the joint venture named Knight, spelled Knight, concentrates on empowering the security consulting team for more flexibility. This decision highlights At&T's strategic move to enhance agility and responsiveness, enabling quicker adaptation to evolving technology. The transaction, slated for completion in Q1 2024, underscores At&T's commitment to refining its approach and offerings in the field of managed security services. Tony, Office Depot will give you MSP services at $20 a month per endpoint, and Oracle has this whole ginormous cloud that you can do computing resources in. On a spectrum from trunk slammer to best in class, where does this lie?
Given the nature of the subject and our audience, I think the only answer is what the for those of you that have not listened to what just happened, AT&T is getting into the MSP business now. We all know that the one-on-one relationship that each of us have with our AT&T rep is absolutely stellar. It's amazing. We know everything about them. They know everything about us, how our processes internally, what our policies are, how everything flows, some problem children that we have and some of the team members, some of the problem workstations that we have with some of the team members. So we know that these AT&T reps are going to be stellar. Absolutely amazing. Or, and I'm just throwing this one out there, they may be able to create a general architecture, a blanket case of a best practice architecture that can be implemented, but will they be the ones to manage it? And will that best case implementation be fitting of the organization that's being installed in? And I think that's where the MSPs really accelerate. They have almost a boutique style implementation of best practices based on the context of where they're doing the implementation and management. And that's why MSPs are so successful. The problem with it is everyone thinks they can do it. I can just go buy stuff off the shelf of Best Buy and I become an MSP. We all know it. Everybody's tried it in some capacity and said, well, that was a horrible idea. Let's go back into actually, what's the terminology? Oh yeah, know our stuff and know our customers and understand the cadence, the rhythm, the resources that need to be applied and the resources that are extremely inefficient and ineffective that shouldn't be applied. Ray, I could go off on a tantrum right now, but I think I'm embodying the MSPs that just heard you. You are now the visual representation of so much anger right now. Like, you are the lightning rod of, are you kidding me? And listen, he's just the messenger, everyone. He's just the messenger, just the anchor of the show, telling you a story of what AT&T is doing. The question is, how long will they continue? And probably more importantly, what is the caliber of customer they're chasing? Is it the sub 250 user? Probably not. But maybe the larger organizations? Probably. But what if it's the other way around? Ray, what are your thoughts?
So I'm going to go from being messenger to being the true lightning rod for this. And I think I might get us canceled. AT&T is going to do a better job at it than most MSPs.
Oh, that's it. I'm throwing the flag. Where's the flag? I need a flag. I need something to throw.
We need those African guys that do the meme with the coffin, with the singing. Right? So, okay, I'm not saying they're going to do customer service better. I'm not going to say they're going to do service delivery better. I'm not even saying they're going to do security better. Here's the really annoying part. None of that matters. They're going to do sales, they're going to do marketing, and they're going to do awareness so much better than every MSP listening to this call, to this podcast. That's the problem. The things that MSPs sell on, better support, faster, part of your company, are not the things AT&T sells on. but they don't have to. And I think sometimes MSPs get caught up. There's way too much stigma in being faster is what clients really care about. And the reason I can say that is because Comcast and AT&T and all the others that all the customers gripe about and come to us griping about, but they were also paying those companies for 20 or 30 years, right? So how many MSPs have 20 and 30-year-old customers that they've been paying for that long? I don't care what your efficiency is. I guarantee you that gross revenue is higher for that 30-year client than you got out of your 5 years, 6 years. And that's where I think the bigger problem is. I think that I agree with you. They're absolutely geared toward enterprise, 100%, no question, as is Salesforce, as is a million other companies. And you know what happens? They get really good at that, and then they scale. You know what else these enterprises are also better at doing than MSPs? Scaling. Hopping from enterprise to small business. And I promise they'll get 60 to 70% of it wrong, and none of that will matter. Because when that insurance company looks and says you're backed by a multi-billion-dollar company, one of only 13 tier 1 telcos in the entire globe, they're going to have that business, and they're going to have less of a fight because they're AT&T, they're big blue, right? And so MSPs, now's the time. If you want to hate me, do it in the comments. Even better, do it on Discord, do it live.
Live, I like that.
Do it live.
Hey, are you gonna have that video live? Are you gonna have that just constantly the gif of the guys dancing with the coffin in there? Do you put MSP Dispatch, or do you put your face in there? Like, which one is it? And then me in the background going, wait.
Phil, you got to make that happen, dude. Phil, you got just put Tony in my picture on like an MSP Dispatch plaque on the coffin while it's bouncing up and down. Phil, make that happen. You know what we should make happen though? We should make some notables happen.
Let's do it. Jumping into my first notable mention from bleepingcomputer.com, security researchers from Blackwing Intelligence discovered vulnerabilities in the embedded fingerprint sensors of Dell Inspiron, Lenovo ThinkPad, and Microsoft Surface Pro X laptops, allowing bypass of Windows Hello fingerprint authentication. The flaws were found in match-on-chip, that's MOC sensors, by Elan, Synaptics, and Goodix, despite Microsoft's Secure Device Connection Protocol, that's SDCP, designed to secure communications between the host and biometric devices. The researchers successfully bypassed authentication using man-in-the-middle attacks on all 3 laptops. With Windows Hello adopted by 84.7% of Windows 10 users, these vulnerabilities pose potential threats to the widespread authentication system. Jumping straight into my second notable mention from ChannelE2E.com, Broadcom has successfully concluded its 18-month acquisition of VMware Inc., overcoming regulatory challenges and multiple deadline extensions. The $61 billion deal faced delays and concerns, particularly from China, before securing regulatory approval. Despite these hurdles, Broadcom CEO Hock Tan has assured VMware channel partners of a welcoming environment, pledging a $2 billion investment post-merger. However, partner reactions have varied, with some exploring alternative vendors like Nutanix and Cloud Software Group. Tan emphasized continuity in VMware's successful partner ecosystem, aiming to enhance growth and collaboration with Broadcom's innovative technologies, promising increased value for partners across the combined networks.
In my first notable mention, Gmail and Photos Content Purge starts December 1st, written by Davey Winder for Forbes. As the December 1st deadline comes for imminent content purge of inactive Google accounts, user concerns rise. The update, primarily targeting accounts inactive for an extended period, seeks to bolster security. Google asserts that inactive accounts are 10 times less likely to employ two-factor authentication. To prevent the deletion of Gmail messages, photos, and other data, users must ensure recent account activity. Educational or business accounts, along with those featuring YouTube content, are exempt. Beyond Gmail and Photos, the policy extends to Google Drive, Docs, and calendar data, emphasizing the need for users to proactively log in to secure their content. And my second notable mention, SysJoker malware attacking Windows, Linux, and Mac users, abusing OneDrive, written by Guru Cybersecurity News. The SysJoker malware, identified by in teaser in 2021, operates as a versatile multi-platform backdoor affecting Windows, Linux, and Mac systems. Evolving in complexity, it recently shifted to the Rust language. Notably, the malware exhibits a unique feature by transitioning from Google Drive to OneDrive for dynamic command and control server URLs, providing an advantage against reputation-based services. The Rust version incorporates unpredictable sleep intervals, potentially as anti-analysis measures. Unlike its earlier version, the Rust variant of SysJoker lacks the ability to execute remote commands and perform file downloads. Researchers have discovered 2 undisclosed SysJoker samples with heightened complexity, indicating ongoing development. In our resource of the week, Huntress Threat Report, written by Huntress on their website. Did you know that 56% of SMB security incidents are malware-free? Our friends at Huntress are back with their SMB Threat Report, a resource full of insights on threats small businesses face every single day. Learn about the latest trends, patterns, and behaviors to create strategies to protect your business and your clients. Huntress Report is a free download with registration, asking only for a minimal amount of information. The link is in the show notes below.
There are plenty of amazing upcoming events taking place across the community, so let's see what's happening this week. Later today at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Huntress Product Lab, Managed Defender for Business. And also after that at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, CyberWise Employees, How to Stay Safe Online, hosted by Fin Security. And then on Thursday the 30th at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, MSP Success Profit Boost Day, hosted by Technology Marketing Toolkit. And coming from the MSP Media Network this week, we have on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, AI Roundup, episode 43. Followed later in the week at 11 o'clock on Friday, MSP Community Live, episode 19. And then followed directly after by Bits and Books, episode 4, featuring another book, They Ask, You Answer. That's at noon on Friday. And then also another episode of 38 at 38 is going to hit you on Friday. That's episode 19 with special guest Jeff Marzik. And as always, on Tuesdays and Fridays, MSP Dispatch, presented by the MSP Media Network.
Hi, I'm Aaron, and I'm a jobaholic. We all have something in common. We all have a worst job story. Each episode, I'll welcome one guest to share their most insane worst job story. And in return, I'll share one of mine. Join me the first Friday of every month for new episodes of 38 at 38.
So how'd you like today's show? If you liked it, hit the thumbs up button. And if you didn't, go ahead and hit it twice, 3 times, 5 times, 7 times. You know the deal. And if you want to hear more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on the YouTubes or your favorite podcatcher. Did you know we also have a Discord where we post stories all week? You can propose your own stories and even vote on which ones we'll cover. As my friend Rich Banky says, make sure to tell a friend. And if you don't know who Rich Banky is, come to the Discord and ask. Also, be sure to follow us on social media at MSP Media TV. Have any questions? Email news@mspmedia.tv for answers on the next episode, or leave us a voicemail, 833-MSP-Network. Tony, I feel this is a good episode only because we had your AI story. Adding additional letters to MSSP, AT&T, MSSP, too many. I don't even remember what my first story was. Doesn't matter, but we covered AI. And in the 2023 news landscape, that's all that matters. So congratulations, sir.
Listen, you're killing the way we all think. Listen, if we got to make it better, we just add a letter to whatever it is. And then if that fails, we slap AI on it. Boom, powered by AI. We don't really know why.
Oh, ATT, MSSP, AI. I'm so in. I'm there.
Oh, what a great episode. Hey, I will very nicely say before Ray lands this plane, everyone, great happy Thanksgiving to everyone that we didn't get a chance to talk to you. Everyone, please be safe.
Gobble, gobble. Take care of yourselves and each other.
This has been a broadcast of the MSP Media Network.
Addressing I'm just going to repeat that line.
This decision highlights AT&T's strategic move to enhance agility and responsiveness, enabling it to adapt